What? My watch. Let's see.
I opened my eyes beneath the blazing desert sun. Endless golden dunes surrounded me, but beyond them, the Nile shimmered like a ribbon of light. I walked toward a small riverside village where curious faces watched my every step. They had never seen a stranger dressed like me before. These humble mudbrick homes were the beginning of something extraordinary. Every wall, every roof, was built by hands determined to survive. The Nile was more than a river. Each yearly flood left behind rich black soil, giving life to farms that would feed an entire civilization. Crossing the river on a simple papyrus boat, I realized the Nile was Egypt's first highway, carrying people, food, and endless possibilities. From a nearby hill, I watched scattered villages spread along the riverbanks. They seemed small today, but I knew great cities would soon rise here. As evening approached, tribal leaders gathered around a sacred shrine. Their ceremonies united communities long before mighty pharaohs ruled this land. Nearby, skilled craftsmen carved stone with remarkable patience. They could not know it yet, but their techniques would shape monuments that amazed the world. Time seemed to race before my eyes. Tiny villages became organized towns, and simple shrines slowly transformed into magnificent temples. Standing above the Nile at sunrise, I finally understood. I wasn't simply witnessing history. I was watching one of humanity's greatest civilizations being born. Asterisk, the years passed in moments. And I suddenly found myself standing in the royal city of Memphis, where an ambitious dream was beginning to take shape. Ahead of me stood a construction site unlike anything the world had ever seen. Thousands of workers were building the first great stone pyramid. This was the vision of Imhotep, a brilliant architect, whose ideas would forever change the course of human history. Every limestone block was carefully measured, carved, and placed with astonishing precision. There was no room for error. I watched enormous stone blocks glide across the desert on wooden sledges, pulled by hundreds of determined workers moving as one. Nearby, entire communities had formed around the construction site. Families cooked, craftsmen repaired tools, and children played beneath the shadow of history. Day after day, the step pyramid climbed higher, becoming humanity's first monument built to touch the heavens. Walking through its sacred courtyards, I realized this was more than a royal tomb. It was the birthplace of monumental architecture. As the final stones were set into place, thousands gathered in celebration. Their achievement would inspire builders for thousands of years. Looking across the desert, I noticed new construction sites appearing on the horizon. The age of the pyramids had only just begun. Asterisk, centuries passed again, and I arrived at Giza, where an even greater dream was rising from the desert floor. Before me stretched the largest construction site I had ever witnessed. Tens of thousands of skilled workers moved with remarkable precision and purpose. Pharaoh Khufu demanded perfection, and his architects carefully aligned every measurement with the stars above. Deep inside the quarries, master stonecutters carved enormous limestone blocks that would soon become part of history itself. Across the desert, endless teams pulled massive stones on wooden sledges while water softened the sand. Beneath their path, the Nile became a floating highway, carrying shining limestone from distant quarries to the growing pyramid at Giza. Climbing the great construction ramps, I finally understood the scale of this incredible achievement. Every stone represented countless hours of human effort. Inside the pyramid, narrow passageways and hidden chambers revealed extraordinary engineering far beyond anything I had imagined. Nearby, a colossal guardian slowly emerged from the bedrock. The Great Sphinx began watching silently over the sacred plateau. As the Great Pyramid reached completion, its brilliant white limestone reflected the morning sun. I knew
Strike
I was
with the hammer.
standing before one of
Again.
the greatest architectural
straight.
masterpieces
Cut it
ever
deep.
created.
Hold fast.
Asterisk time
Together.
carried me
Heave.
forward once again.
Together.
And I arrived in Thebes, the magnificent heart of Egypt's new kingdom. The city was
the
alive
formation
with
tight.
towering
We're
temples,
approaching the bend.
royal palaces, bustling
Hold steady,
markets,
sir.
and countless
We see the
boats sailing
markers.
along the life-giving
Time
Nile.
traveler. Name
Walking
Ethan
toward
Walker.
Karnak
Age
Temple.
32.
I
Occupation
passed an
architect
endless
slash
avenue
historian.
of majestic
Origin
ram-headed
21st
sphinx,
century.
guiding worshippers
the
toward
king
one of the
insists on
world's
perfection.
greatest sacred
The
places.
gods will know if we
When I
fail.
stepped inside the
Move
great
lantern.
hypostyle hall,
Up to the ceiling.
hundreds of colossal columns rose above me like a stone forest reaching toward the heavens. Every wall told a story. Master craftsmen carved intricate hieroglyphs
of
while
time
painters covered the
reveal
temples
their
with brilliant
greatest
colors that
masterpiece.
still seemed alive. I watched thousands of workers transport a gigantic granite obelisk, an extraordinary feat of engineering powered only by human determination. At Luxor
1500
Temple,
BC. I can't believe
the
I'm
Opet
here.
Festival
Amazing.
filled
What do
the
you think?
streets with music,
Temples,
dancing,
palaces, the Nile.
and sacred
It's
processions
magnificent.
as the entire city celebrated its gods and pharaohs. As night fell, I entered the temple's inner sanctuary, where flickering torchlight
Incredible.
revealed mysterious
I've never seen
rituals
anything
hidden
like
from
it.
the outside
The
world.
scale is
From the top
impossible.
of a towering pylon. I looked across
precision
Thebes and
is
realized this
astounding.
was one of the greatest
They have
cities ever
mastered the
built in the
ancient
ancient
techniques.
world. With the
Remarkable
first light of
dedication to
dawn,
detail.
illuminating
Keep it
Karnak,
steady. To
I
the
understood
right.
that Egyptian
Everyone,
architecture
pull
had reached a
forward.
level of
Slowly.
beauty, scale,
Watch the balance.
and precision
Almost there.
unlike anything humanity had ever achieved. Asterisk, the years moved forward once more, bringing me to the glorious reign of Ramesses the
Time
Great.
traveler observes.
When Egypt
The
stood at the
guardians of the
height of its
sacred.
power, a magnificent
Only the
royal
light
procession
remembers.
crossed the city as soldiers, priests, and nobles marched beside the mighty pharaoh in a display of unmatched grandeur. My journey then led south along the Nile,
Incredible.
where
It's
an
perfectly
incredible
aligned.
sight slowly
They've done
emerged
it.
from the desert cliffs. Abu Simbel, standing beneath the colossal statues of Ramesses II, I felt smaller than ever before. Their silent gaze had watched over this land for
Incredible.
centuries.
Ramesses
Inside the
II.
temple,
This is even
towering
grander than the
pillars and
records
richly
describe.
carved walls
All
celebrated
hail the great
victories,
pharaoh.
gods,
Incredible. Abu
and the
Simbel.
eternal legacy
Just
of a
as described.
powerful
He was a
ruler.
megalomaniac,
Then
but a
something
brilliant
extraordinary
one. Look at the
happened.
scale.
The
They'll
morning
never build like
sunlight
this again.
traveled through the temple, illuminating the sacred sanctuary exactly as its architects had intended. Beyond the river, I entered the Valley of the Kings, where hidden tombs protected the secrets of Egypt's greatest pharaohs. Within those silent
The
chambers,
alignment.
artists covered every
happening.
wall with vivid scenes of the afterlife,
Our gods
preserving
awaken.
stories that would survive for
Incredible.
thousands of years. As the sun set across the
The
desert,
whispers of the past
I looked
echoed
over
in
the valley and realized these mountains
A
held an
secret
entire
procession
world hidden
moving with
beneath the
practice.
sand.
The
By
detail
the
is
end of my
extraordinary.
journey
They've just
through the new
finished painting
kingdom,
this.
I had witnessed
the
Egypt
pharaoh
transform
approaches.
stone into immortality,
Incredible.
leaving behind
The colors
monuments
are
that continue to
extraordinary.
inspire humanity today.
The gods
Asterisk,
are pleased.
once again,
I've
time
never
collapsed
seen
around
such
me,
detail.
and I found myself standing among ruins that had already begun to fade into the dust of history. Empires had changed, yet the great temples of Egypt still stood, silently watching as new civilizations arrived along the Nile. Greek architects walked
The
through
sands
ancient
whisper of
sanctuaries,
centuries gone by.
studying the perfect proportions
Look
of
at how
monuments
time
built
shapes the
thousands of
world.
years before their time. Then came the
mingling
Romans,
of cultures here is
adding their
truly
own structures
unprecedented.
while carefully
How do you
preserving the
find our new
sacred
constructions,
stonework
traveler?
of Egypt's greatest
Remarkable.
temples.
The records
But
were
even the
accurate.
strongest
They're
stone
not
cannot
destroying it,
resist
they're preserving
eternity.
it.
Sand
Engineer,
and wind
check
slowly
that frieze,
began
it's
to reclaim
shifting.
once glorious cities. I watched as entire temples disappeared beneath the desert, their voices buried beneath centuries of silence. Then, after
Extraordinary
thousands of
detail.
years,
I've never seen
explorers
hieroglyphs
and
so perfectly
archaeologists
preserved.
arrived,
Centuries
brushing
in the
away sand to
untouched.
reveal forgotten worlds
Records were
beneath the
accurate.
dunes.
The pigments are still
Every
intact.
carved
Remarkable.
wall,
We need
every
to be careful
statue,
with the measurements.
every
I've never
hidden
seen
chamber
colors this
told
brilliant
stories
on
that
ancient
had waited
stonework.
millennia to be heard
Relocation of
again.
Abu Simbel is an
I stood
undertaking of
beside
epic
modern
proportions.
engineers
Lower
as they
away.
carefully
Easy now.
relocated
To witness this
Abu
teamwork
Simbel,
is truly extraordinary.
proving that even in the present day,
craftsmanship here is
Egypt's
truly
legacy is still
incredible,
protected.
spanning millennia.
Looking across the Nile Nile one
They
final
really
time,
knew how to build.
I realized I had not just witnessed history. I had walked through the entire memory of a civilization that never truly disappeared. Asterisk. As the first rays of sunlight touched the Great Pyramid, a brilliant light surrounded me, and the desert began to disappear before my eyes. In an instant, I was back in the modern world. Cars rushed past, skyscrapers filled the horizon.
Where am I?
Yet the pyramid still stood untouched by time.
This
Inside
can't
a
be real.
museum, I recognized the same statues,
The
tools,
scale is incredible.
and architectural models
Look
I
at
had
the
once
detail
seen
on
being
the
created by
hologram.
ancient hands.
I need to
Visited
cross-reference
modern
this with the map.
architects who still admired the
Geometric
genius of
precision is
Egypt,
incredible.
proving
They
that
built it to
ideas born
last.
thousands of years ago
Perhaps our
continue to
ancestors knew
shape
more
our
about
world.
foundations than we do.
Everywhere I
The
traveled,
convergence of
I
history.
found echoes of ancient Egypt
The
in towering
architects
monuments,
understood.
grand museums, government buildings, and timeless stone columns. Technology has changed
The sands
beyond
of time
imagination.
whisper tales forgotten.
Yet archaeologists continue
past
uncovering
echoes in
new
every
secrets
incredible.
hidden beneath
I've
the
only ever
desert
dreamed of
sands
seeing
every
something
single
like
year.
this.
Returning
The
to
lasers gave
Giza
us the
one last
precise
time,
architecture.
I watched
Look at the
researchers, drones, and historians
that.
work together to preserve
gently.
humanity's greatest
Mapping
architectural
confirmed.
treasure.
Sector
Standing
6 is
beside the
stable.
Great Sphinx
After
once
4
more,
millennia,
I
here
realized the
stand.
true miracle
It's
was
simply
never the size of the
breathtaking.
monuments,
the journey
but
has
the
been
vision
worth
of the
it.
people who built them. As I
journey
closed my
continues.
journal, I understood
The
that my
whispers of the
journey through
past
ancient
echoed
Egypt
through
had
the
come to
ages,
an end.
now
But
inspiring
its story
the
would
future.
continue inspiring generations yet to come. If these timeless monuments have taught us anything, it is that civilizations may rise and fall, but great architecture can carry the dreams of humanity across thousands of years.